the unshakable presence of the chosen. Have you ever felt a quiet power within yourself that words could never fully describe? A strength that doesn't demand attention yet commands respect? You step into a room, and without speaking a word, the atmosphere shifts. Eyes follow you, not out of judgment, but curiosity or perhaps even unease. It's not arrogance or pride that sets you apart. It's something deeper, something divine. You carry within you a purpose so profound that it cannot be hidden, and it challenges everything around you, even without intention. This journey isn't about blending in or pleasing others. It's about stepping fully into the identity God has placed within you. It's about walking boldly in a world that demands conformity and shining a light that reveals both beauty and brokenness. You're not just anyone. You're chosen. Your life isn't dictated by the noise of the world, but by the quiet guidance of a higher calling. This sets you apart, and while it may inspire some, it will also unsettle others. What is it about you that stirs something in the hearts of those around you? Why does your presence inspire admiration in some and resistance in others? And how can you continue to walk in this purpose, unshaken by the reactions of the world? Together, we will explore these questions, diving deep into the essence of what it means to live as one of God's chosen. From the undeniable power of your presence to the strength found in solitude, this journey will reveal the truths that define who you are and the divine calling that shapes your path. Part 1. The presence of the chosen ones. Have you ever entered a room and felt the atmosphere shift without saying a word? This experience is not a coincidence. It reflects the unique presence that comes with being one of God's chosen. Your energy, shaped by divine purpose, speaks louder than words and reaches deeper than appearances. It is not something you strive to project. It is simply who you are. This quiet yet undeniable confidence radiates from within, and it unsettles those who do not understand its source. They may not be able to articulate it, but they feel it, a sense of authenticity and power that challenges their perception of reality. You carry something sacred, something profound, and it is impossible to ignore. This presence is not born of arrogance or pride. It is rooted in a deeper truth. You are living as someone set apart, someone walking in alignment with God's purpose for your life. While others may seek validation from external achievements, appearances, or approval, you are content in your identity, knowing that it is defined by a higher calling. This distinction is what makes you stand out. People may not know your story or the journey that brought you here, but they feel the weight of your presence. It is a quiet reminder of something greater, something eternal, that surpasses the noise and distractions of this world. For many, this kind of presence is unfamiliar and even unsettling. It forces them to confront parts of themselves they may not be ready to face. Perhaps they see in you a reflection of what they lack, a sense of purpose, resilience, or freedom. Your life becomes a mirror, exposing the fragility of the foundations they have built their lives upon. The systems of control, validation, and conformity they rely on are challenged simply by your existence. You are living proof that there is another way to thrive, a way that does not require bending to the expectations of the world. This power you carry is not about dominance or control. It is about authenticity. You do not need to shout or demand attention because your energy speaks for itself. It is a quiet confidence that flows from knowing who you are and whose you are. This kind of confidence is rare in a world that values external validation over inner peace. People often rely on appearances, titles, and achievements to define their worth. But you have discovered that true strength comes from within. This is why your presence feels different. It is not rooted in what the world offers, but in what God has placed within you. As you move through life, this presence will continue to speak louder than any words you could say. It will draw some people toward you, inspiring them to seek the same sense of purpose and freedom. Others, however, may react with discomfort or even hostility. This is not a reflection of you, but of their own struggles. They are confronted with a reality that challenges their worldview, and that can be unsettling. But remember, you are not here to conform or to fit in. You are here to stand out, to walk in the purpose God has set before you, and to be a light in the darkness. Your presence is not just a testament to who you are. It is a testament to the power of God working in and through you. It is a reminder that there is a greater purpose at work, one that transcends the limitations of this world. As you continue to walk in this truth, know that your presence is not just a gift to you, but to those around you. It has the power to inspire, to challenge, and to bring light to even the darkest places. Embrace it and let it shine unapologetically. Part 2. The fear you elicit. Why do people react to you with discomfort, skepticism, or even hostility? The answer lies in the deep fear your presence evokes in them. This fear is not about you as an individual, but about what you represent: freedom, authenticity, and a higher purpose that defies the norms of the world. Your life stands as a living contradiction to the systems they trust and the rules they have built their lives upon. You are a challenge to their carefully constructed sense of reality, and that challenge is unsettling. Your quiet confidence and unshakable sense of purpose highlight the limitations of their own choices. Many people have built their lives on systems of control and validation, relying on societal norms, approval, and material success to define their worth. When they encounter someone like you, who thrives outside of these systems, it forces them to confront the fragility of their foundations. They may not be able to explain their discomfort, but they feel it, a sense that their way of life is not as secure or fulfilling as they once believed. The fear you elicit stems from the realization that there is another way, a way that does not require conformity, manipulation, or dependence on external validation. Your freedom, both in spirit and in action, serves as a silent but powerful testimony to this truth. It reveals that the constraints they have accepted as inevitable are, in fact, choices. For those who have invested heavily in maintaining control over their lives and others, this revelation can be terrifying. It exposes the possibility that their systems of power and influence are not as absolute as they thought. This fear is amplified by your resilience. No matter what challenges you face, you continue to stand firm, unshaken by the opinions, actions, or judgments of others. People may try to intimidate you, manipulate you, or impose their fears onto you, but their efforts fall flat. Your refusal to bend to their expectations or play their games highlights a strength they do not understand and cannot replicate. This strength is not rooted in defiance but in alignment with a higher purpose, a purpose that is guided and sustained by God. Your presence forces people to examine their own lives, often in ways they are not prepared for. They may feel exposed, as though the masks they wear and the illusions they have created are suddenly transparent. This exposure is not something you actively seek to create. It is a natural byproduct of your authenticity. When you walk in truth, it casts a light that makes it difficult for others to remain comfortable in their own falsehoods. This light does not condemn them, but it does challenge them, and that challenge can provoke fear. Fear, when left unchecked, often manifests as resistance. Some people may try to tear you down, ridicule you, or isolate you. They may project their insecurities onto you, hoping to diminish the discomfort you cause. Others may attempt to lure you back into their systems of control, offering approval, rewards, or validation as incentives. But their fear is ultimately rooted in their inability to control you. Your freedom is proof that their influence is not absolute, and this realization is deeply unsettling. Even in the face of resistance, you remain calm and grounded. This unshakable demeanor only deepens their fear, as it reveals a truth they cannot ignore. Their attempts to control you have no power. You are not driven by fear, and this makes you untouchable. The systems they rely on, manipulation, intimidation, and societal pressure, hold no sway over someone who is rooted in divine purpose. Your ability to thrive outside of their influence forces them to confront the limitations of their own power. This is not a reflection of your actions, but of their own internal struggles. The fear they feel is ultimately a fear of themselves, of their own unexamined choices, unchallenged beliefs, and unfulfilled potential. Your life serves as a mirror, reflecting both the possibility of freedom and the cost of remaining in chains. For some, this reflection will inspire change. For others, it will provoke resistance. But in either case, the fear you elicit is not about you. It is about the truth you represent. As you continue to walk in your purpose, remember that this fear is not your burden to carry. It is not your responsibility to fix, explain, or justify the discomfort others feel in your presence. Your role is simply to be who you are, authentic, aligned, and unwavering. Let their fear be a reminder of the power of walking in truth, and trust that the light you carry will continue to shine, even in the face of resistance. Part 3. The Power of Presence. There is something extraordinary about your presence. It speaks volumes without a single word. It's not an aura of arrogance or a performance designed to impress. Instead, it is an authenticity so profound that it challenges those around you simply by existing. This power is not one you wield intentionally. It is a natural byproduct of living in alignment with God's purpose for your life. It is rooted in faith, in resilience, and in the truth that your identity is anchored in something eternal. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere changes. People may not understand why they feel uneasy or drawn to you, but they sense it. Your presence cuts through the noise and forces others to confront themselves. It unveils layers of pretense, exposing their masks and the truths they would rather keep hidden. It is not about judgment or superiority. It is simply a reflection of light in a world that often hides in shadows. This light does not condemn, but it reveals. And in that revelation lies the discomfort many experience in your presence. Your ability to see beyond the surface of people's actions and words is another aspect of this power. You perceive the layers beneath, the fears, insecurities, and vulnerabilities that others work so hard to conceal. It's not about prying or intruding. It's a natural awareness born from spiritual clarity and discernment. This level of insight can be unsettling for others, not because you mean harm, but because it strips away the facades they have relied on for so long. It forces them to see themselves in ways they may not be ready to. The Bible often speaks of how God sees beyond outward appearances and looks directly at the heart. 1 Samuel 16 verse 7 reminds us that while man looks at the outward appearance, the Lord looks at the heart. In many ways, your presence reflects this divine perspective. It mirrors God's ability to see the truth, and this truth shines a light into the darkest corners of those around you. Some may be inspired by this light, seeing in it a path toward freedom and authenticity. Others, however, may react with fear or hostility, unwilling to face what the light reveals. This power of presence is not about confrontation or calling others out. It is about simply being who you are, unapologetically authentic and deeply rooted in your identity as one of God's chosen. Your calm, unshaken demeanor stands in stark contrast to the noise and chaos of the world. You don't need to defend yourself or prove your worth because your very existence is a testament to the strength and purpose that God has placed within you. This kind of confidence is rare, and it commands attention not because it demands it, but because it radiates naturally. For those who thrive on pretense and control, your presence can feel threatening. It disrupts their carefully constructed narratives and forces them to confront the fragility of their own foundations. They may react defensively, projecting their fears and insecurities onto you in an attempt to protect themselves from the discomfort you evoke. But this is not your doing. It is the inevitable result of truth encountering falsehood. Light will always expose darkness, and authenticity will always challenge deception. Yet your presence is also a source of inspiration for those who are ready to embrace the truth. It shows them that it is possible to live authentically, free from the need to conform or seek validation from others. Your life becomes a quiet yet powerful invitation to step into a deeper understanding of purpose and identity. It is not about persuading others or changing their minds. It is about walking in your truth and allowing that truth to speak for itself. This kind of presence is not easy to carry. It can feel isolating at times, as though the world does not fully understand or accept you. But remember, this is not a burden. It is a gift. Your presence is a reflection of the divine, a reminder of God's power and love at work in the world. It is a light that cannot be dimmed, no matter how much resistance you encounter. And in that light lies the power to inspire change, to challenge falsehoods, and to bring hope to those who are searching for something more. As you continue to move through life, embrace the power of your presence. Let it be a testament to who you are and to the God who has called you. Trust that this power is not something you need to control or manage. It is a natural extension of walking in alignment with your purpose. Allow it to shine, knowing that it will touch lives in ways you may never fully understand. And above all, remember that this presence is not about you. It is about the one who has chosen and equipped you to carry it. Part 4. Defying control and expectations. You are not like everyone else. You are not made to conform to the world's expectations or to fit neatly into its systems of control. This truth about you is one of the most unsettling things for others to face. Society often functions on a set of unspoken rules, rules that dictate what is acceptable, how success is defined, and how people should behave to gain approval. Yet, you thrive outside these rules. You live with freedom and authenticity that defy the structures others have accepted as immovable. This challenges the very foundation of their beliefs and leaves them struggling to reconcile your existence with their worldview. Your refusal to bend to societal expectations reveals something profound. The systems people trust to give them purpose and security are not as powerful as they appear. Many spend their lives building identities around external validation, chasing titles, wealth, or social approval in an attempt to feel worthy. But when they encounter someone like you, someone who thrives without playing by those same rules, it forces them to confront a question they have long avoided. What if everything they've been chasing is hollow? This realization can be deeply uncomfortable. For some, it inspires reflection, a desire to reevaluate their choices and seek a more meaningful path. For others, it provokes resistance. They may feel threatened by your independence and freedom because it undermines the systems they have relied on for control. To them, your ability to succeed without conforming feels like a direct challenge to their worldview. And that challenge can trigger fear, anger, or even hostility. People who rely on control often respond to perceived threats by trying to reassert their dominance. They may attempt to intimidate you, isolate you, or manipulate you into conforming. They might ridicule your choices or question your motives, hoping to make you doubt yourself. These tactics are not about you. They are about their own insecurities. They fear what they cannot control. And your freedom is proof that their control is not as absolute as they would like to believe. But their efforts to diminish you ultimately reveal their own limitations. No matter how hard they try, they cannot force you back into their systems because you are no longer bound by the same constraints. Your strength comes from a higher source, and it cannot be swayed by the opinions or actions of others. This resilience is not born of defiance, but of alignment with God's purpose for your life. You are not fighting against their systems. You are simply living above them. And that difference is what terrifies them most. When you choose to walk in freedom, you demonstrate that it is possible to live authentically without being tethered to the expectations of others. This truth is both liberating and unsettling. It liberates those who are ready to break free from their chains, showing them that they, too, can live with purpose and authenticity. But it unsettles those who are still clinging to the illusion of control. They see in you a reflection of what they lack: courage, clarity, and the willingness to trust in something greater than themselves. This is why your presence is so disruptive to the status quo. You do not need to argue, protest, or demand change. Your life itself is the statement. Simply by thriving outside of their systems, you reveal their flaws. You show that the rules they have built their lives around are not universal truths, but constructs that can be questioned and even rejected. This revelation forces people to confront their own choices and the reasons behind them. For some, this will be a turning point, an opportunity to step into a new way of living. For others, it will be a source of fear and resistance. Yet, no matter how others react, your purpose remains unchanged. You are not called to fit in or to make others comfortable. You are called to live in truth and to walk in alignment with the path God has set before you. This path is not always easy, but it is filled with meaning, fulfillment, and the assurance that you are living as you were created to live. Your freedom is not just a gift to you. It is a light for others, a reminder that they, too, can choose to live authentically. As you continue to defy the expectations of the world, remember that your life is a testimony to the power of divine purpose. You do not need to explain or justify your choices to those who do not understand. Your freedom speaks for itself. Trust that, in time, your authenticity will inspire those who are ready to embrace it, and it will challenge those who are not. Either way, you are fulfilling your calling, simply by being who you are and refusing to be anything less. Part 5. The strength of walking away. There is an undeniable power in knowing when to walk away. For many, the idea of leaving behind what no longer serves them feels impossible. They cling to relationships, situations, or systems that drain their energy, all in the hope of restoring balance or finding validation. But you are different. You recognize when something no longer aligns with your purpose or values, and you choose to walk away with quiet strength. This decision, though simple in execution, carries a profound impact on those around you. Your ability to leave without dramatic gestures or endless explanations unsettles people. It challenges their perception of control. Many believe that their approval, attention, or presence holds power over others. When you walk away without hesitation, it becomes clear that their influence was never as strong as they thought. It forces them to confront the truth that their control was an illusion, entirely dependent on your willingness to remain within their grasp. This realization is deeply unsettling, particularly for those who rely on manipulation or dominance to feel secure. The act of walking away is not about rejection or pride. It is about preserving your peace and integrity. You have come to understand that not every battle is worth fighting, and that not every connection is worth maintaining. This clarity allows you to prioritize your values and focus on what truly matters. When a situation no longer contributes to your growth or aligns with your mission, you choose to let it go. This choice is not a sign of weakness but of strength, a strength that many cannot comprehend. For those who depend on control, your departure is more than just a loss. It is a collapse of their carefully constructed illusions. They may try to pull you back, using guilt, fear, or manipulation to reassert their influence. But these attempts fall flat because you have already moved beyond their reach. You are not bound by their expectations or their need for validation. Your life is guided by something higher, something they cannot touch or control. This independence is both a mystery and a threat to those who have not yet found the courage to walk in their own truth. Walking away is not an act of rebellion. It is an act of alignment. It is about choosing to live in accordance with your values and purpose, even when it means leaving behind what is familiar. This decision may be misunderstood by others, but it is not your responsibility to make them understand. Your focus is on staying true to yourself and to the path God has set before you. This path is not always easy, but it is always right, and it is always worth the sacrifices it may require. Your ability to walk away also sends a powerful message to those around you. It demonstrates that true strength is not about holding on but about letting go when the time is right. It shows that your worth is not tied to any person, place, or circumstance, but is rooted in something far deeper. This message can inspire others to examine their own lives and to consider what they might need to release in order to grow. It can also provoke discomfort, as it forces people to confront the areas in their lives where they are still clinging to what no longer serves them. For those who thrive on manipulation or control, your willingness to walk away is not just unsettling, it is terrifying. It reveals their own irrelevance in your world and highlights a painful truth they cannot escape. Their power over you is never real. This truth is not something they are ready to face, and so they may respond with resistance or hostility. But their reaction is not your concern. Your role is not to fix or change them, but to continue walking in your truth. In walking away, you also protect your own energy and peace. You recognize that your time and attention are precious, and you choose to invest them in what truly matters. This self-respect is not selfish, it is necessary. It allows you to remain grounded, focused, and aligned with your purpose. It also ensures that you are not weighed down by the negativity or chaos of others. By walking away from what no longer serves you, you create space for what does. As you continue to make these choices, remember that walking away is not a sign of failure or defeat. It is a sign of wisdom and strength. It shows that you are willing to trust God's plan for your life, even when it requires leaving behind what is comfortable or familiar. It is a testament to your faith and your resilience. And it is a reminder that your worth is not tied to anything outside of yourself. Let your actions speak for themselves. Walk away with grace and confidence, knowing that you are honoring both yourself and the path you are meant to follow. Trust that, in time, those who are ready will see the strength in your choice, and those who are not will fade into the background. Either way, you are living authentically, and that is the greatest gift you can give to yourself and to the world around you. Part 6. Mystique and Depth. There is a mystery about you that captivates and unsettles those around you. Your presence defies easy categorization or definition. People are accustomed to understanding others through familiar patterns, judging based on appearances, behaviors, or societal roles, but you do not fit into their predefined boxes. Instead, you challenge their perceptions by existing as an enigma. This depth and complexity force others to confront the limits of their understanding. And for many, that confrontation is deeply unsettling. Your life carries a weight that cannot be explained by worldly achievements or status. It is not about what you do, but who you are. This depth comes from living authentically, walking in alignment with God's purpose, and being rooted in something eternal. Others feel it when they are near you, even if they cannot articulate it. It is a presence that speaks of wisdom, resilience, and faith, a quiet strength that commands respect without demanding it. Most people are used to dealing with surfaces. They rely on appearances and predictable behaviors to navigate relationships and social interactions. When they encounter someone like you, someone who does not conform to their expectations, it disrupts their sense of control. They cannot label you or place you into a familiar category, and this inability to understand or predict you leaves them feeling vulnerable. It highlights the shallowness of their perceptions and forces them to see how much they depend on external validation to make sense of the world. Your depth does more than confuse, it exposes. It reveals the pretenses, fears, and insecurities that others try to hide. Without intending to, you become a mirror that reflects their inner struggles. They may see in you what they wish they had: courage, authenticity, or an unshakable sense of purpose. This reflection can inspire admiration, but it can also provoke discomfort or even resentment. Some may look at you and feel challenged to grow, while others may react defensively, trying to diminish you to avoid facing their own shortcomings. This dynamic is not something you create intentionally. It is simply a result of living in truth. Your authenticity shines a light into the shadows of those around you, and that light cannot be ignored. It forces people to confront what they have buried, suppressed, or ignored in themselves. For some, this will be a wake-up call, a chance to step into a more authentic way of living. For others, it will feel like a threat, as it challenges the carefully constructed identities they have built to shield themselves from their own fears. In a world obsessed with appearances, your refusal to wear a mask is revolutionary. You do not seek validation or approval from others, and this independence is both inspiring and intimidating. People who are still trapped by their own insecurities may struggle to understand how you can stand so firmly in your identity without needing external reinforcement. They may question your motives or project their own fears onto you, but their reactions are not about you. They are about their own struggles. Your authenticity also serves as an invitation. It shows others that there is another way to live, a way that is free from pretense and fear. It encourages them to look beyond the superficial and to seek the deeper truths that give life meaning. But not everyone is ready to accept this invitation. Some will admire you from a distance, unsure of how to move forward. Others may respond with hostility, desperate to protect the illusions they have built their lives upon. The Bible speaks to this contrast between light and darkness. In John 3 verses 19 to 21, it says, "Light has come into the world, but people loved darkness instead of light because their deeds were evil. Everyone who does evil hates the light and will not come into the light for fear that their deeds will be exposed. But whoever lives by the truth comes into the light, so that it may be seen plainly that what they have done has been done in the sight of God." Your life, as one aligned with truth, naturally brings light into the world, and that light exposes both beauty and brokenness. This exposure is not something to fear or shy away from. It is a part of your calling as one of God's chosen. You are not here to fit in or to make others comfortable. You are here to shine a light on what is real and eternal. This light will challenge people, but it will also guide them toward freedom if they are willing to embrace it. Your depth and authenticity are gifts, not just to yourself, but to everyone you encounter. They serve as reminders of the divine power at work in your life and the potential for transformation in theirs. As you continue to walk in truth, know that your presence will not always be understood or welcomed. Some will celebrate you for who you are, while others will resist the changes your light inspires. But this is not your burden to carry. Your role is to live authentically, to remain true to your purpose, and to trust that God will use your life as a testimony to His glory. Let the mystery of your presence be a reflection of the depth and beauty of the Creator who has called you. And know that even when others do not understand, you are fulfilling your purpose simply by being who you were created to be. Part 7. The Role of Solitude. Solitude holds a unique power that many fail to recognize or embrace. In a world that thrives on constant noise, validation, and interaction, the ability to withdraw and find strength in stillness is rare. For you, as one of God's chosen, solitude is not a place of weakness or isolation, but a sanctuary of renewal and alignment. It is where you retreat to reconnect with your purpose, refine your spirit, and build resilience for the journey ahead. When others expect you to seek comfort in their approval or return from solitude diminished and unsure, you emerge stronger, sharper, and more focused. This confounds those who misunderstand the power of being alone with God. They see solitude as something to fear, a reminder of vulnerability, a void that needs to be filled with distractions. For you, however, it is a sacred space where growth happens. It is where you hear the still, small voice of God guiding your steps and reaffirming your identity. The Bible gives us countless examples of the strength found in solitude. Jesus Himself often withdrew to quiet places to pray and prepare for His mission. In Luke 5 verse 16, it says, "But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed." These moments were not times of weakness, but of profound spiritual alignment. Similarly, your time alone is a period of preparation and empowerment. It is where you gain clarity, strengthen your resolve, and realign yourself with the divine purpose placed on your life. For many, this ability to embrace solitude is deeply unsettling. It reveals their dependence on external validation and the noise of the world to feel secure. People who rely on constant connection and distraction often struggle to understand those who thrive in quiet reflection. Your comfort in solitude exposes their discomfort with themselves. It forces them to confront their own insecurities and the ways they avoid facing their inner struggles. This confrontation can provoke confusion, envy, or even hostility as they project their fears onto you. Solitude also separates you from the expectations of others. When you step away, you are no longer under their influence or control. This independence is both inspiring and intimidating. It shows that your strength is not derived from their approval, but from a deeper, unshakable foundation. For those who thrive on manipulation or dominance, this is a terrifying truth. They cannot touch you in solitude, and that lack of access to your mind and heart reveals their own powerlessness. In your solitude, you cultivate resilience. It is a time to reflect on the path you are walking and to realign yourself with your mission. It is not a retreat from the world, but a preparation for re-entering it with greater focus and purpose. While others may depend on the noise of the world to feel alive, you find life in the stillness. You emerge from solitude not weaker but stronger. And this transformation is a testament to the divine work being done within you. Your resilience in isolation also forces others to confront their own fears about being alone. Many people avoid solitude because it strips away the distractions that shield them from their vulnerabilities. Without the noise, they are left with their thoughts, their struggles, and their unfulfilled desires. They see in your ability to embrace solitude a strength they lack, and this realization can be unsettling. It challenges them to question why they fear what you welcome and to consider what they might gain if they. 2. Embrace the quiet. For you, solitude is not a luxury but a necessity. It is where you recharge, where you seek wisdom, and where you are reminded of the truth that sustains you. This time alone with God is not a withdrawal from life, but an investment in it. It equips you to face the challenges ahead with confidence and peace. It aligns you with your purpose and reminds you that you are not defined by the opinions or expectations of others. As you continue to walk in your purpose, let solitude remain a cornerstone of your journey. Do not be swayed by the misconceptions of those who see it as weakness. Instead, embrace it as a source of strength and clarity. Trust that the time you spend alone is not wasted, but is building you into the person God has called you to be. Let the stillness refine your spirit, sharpen your focus, and deepen your connection to the divine. Your willingness to embrace solitude will inspire others, even if they do not understand it at first. It shows that true strength is found not in constant activity, but in intentional stillness. It reveals that independence is not about rejecting others, but about being deeply rooted in your own identity. And it reminds the world that there is power in stepping away, in listening to the voice of God, and in returning stronger than before. Let your time in solitude be a reflection of your trust in God's plan. Use it to realign yourself with your purpose, to seek wisdom, and to prepare for the next steps of your journey. And when you reemerge, let the strength you have cultivated in the quiet speak for itself. You are not diminished by solitude, you are fortified by it. And that truth is a testament to the power of walking in alignment with the one who has called you, the light that cannot be dimmed. As you walk through life, carrying the quiet strength and unshakable purpose that only God can instill. Remember this, your journey is not just for you. It is a testimony to those who watch, a reflection of what is possible when someone steps fully into their divine calling. You are not here to blend in or to seek validation from the world. You are here to shine, unapologetically, authentically, and powerfully. Your presence, your resilience, and your ability to live beyond the expectations of others serve as a beacon of hope and truth. Some will admire you for it, and others may resist the change your light inspires. But this is not your burden to carry. Your mission is not to seek approval, but to remain steadfast in your calling, trusting that God will use your life to touch hearts and transform lives in ways you may never fully understand. So, let the world feel the weight of your authenticity. Let your unwavering faith and quiet confidence challenge the systems of control and fear that bind so many. Let your life be a reflection of God's glory, a reminder that His plans for you are unstoppable and that His light within you cannot be dimmed. And above all, continue to walk boldly, knowing that you are chosen, equipped, and destined to fulfill a purpose far greater than yourself. This is your story, a story of freedom, truth, and the undeniable power of living as one of God's chosen.